he learned. And now, to say it forward, Mr. Efren Pallorina.
You remember the story of the starfish? Of course. If you're ever a reader, you've come across this story by Loren Eiseley, posted in 1999. It's a story of a writer who liked to do his writing on the beach. And he would come out every morning and walk up and down a beach and to gain inspiration, to wait for things to happen in his mind and in his heart. One morning, he came out to do his usual morning stroll on the beach. And he noticed that this particular morning, the beach was lined with thousands and thousands of starfish. Now, the starfish had been washed ashore by the waves. So overnight, the starfish collected on the beach, and there were just so many of them. He continued to walk, as was his habit, and this writer noticed a boy far in the distance, bending over, and then acted like he was throwing something into the sea. And the closer he got to this figure, the boy, he noticed that he was actually picking up a starfish every time he bent over. And he would throw that starfish back into the sea every single time. And he did this over and over again. And of course, the writer was intrigued. Why would he do this? And the closer he got to the boy, he determined that he would ask him, "Little boy, what are you doing?" "I'm throwing the starfish back into the sea." Don't you realize, boy, that there are tens of thousands of starfish on this beach? And doing that is not going to make a difference to this huge collection of starfish. They're all going to die when the sun comes up. They will dry up and die. "I realize that, sir," the boy said. And he picked up another starfish and threw it back into the sea. "It doesn't make a difference that you're doing that." "But, sir, it made a difference to that one starfish. That starfish is going to live because that boy picked it up from the beach, preventing it from dying in the sun and giving it another lease on life." Story's been told and retold many, many times since 1999, and people even don't know who wrote it. It's Loren Eiseley. And it's something that reminds all of us we cannot discount the impact of little acts. Sometimes it's little acts of love, little acts of kindness, little acts of caring. It doesn't matter how big or small your act of kindness is, your act of love, your act of caring. I'm a product of acts of kindness. I know what it feels to be offered a little something when I needed it just exactly at that time. I know the kind of feeling I get of gratitude when somebody does something that was exactly what I needed, gave me some money in the exact amount that I needed at that time, and without him knowing that I had a need. And I remember a friend in a taxi riding along one of the streets of Metro Manila, raining, and there were all kinds of people walking. And then there was this lady riding a tricycle, and she was carrying stuff on the tricycle, things to sell. But this lady didn't have an umbrella. The tricycle didn't have anything on it. So she was just riding and came up to this taxi, and my friend said, "Let's give her one of our umbrellas, because we've got two right here." And my friend, without waiting for me to say anything, rolled the window down and gave the lady one of the umbrellas that we had in the taxi. And later on, after talking about it a little while, I said, that didn't need any prompting. That didn't need any consensus. Would I have said yes or no? It wouldn't have mattered. My friend wanted to do an act of kindness at that time. Just like that little boy. Probably never expected that anything would happen to that starfish. And the starfish certainly didn't have any way of saying, thank you, little boy, because of you, I am now still alive in the sea. It's important that we recognize the value of every little act. When you give up your seat for somebody that needs it more than you, in the bus, on the train, you're doing something that people will not notice, and the person will probably never even look at you to say thank you. And that happens a lot, doesn't it? But you still do it. Why? Because that's how we were designed, to perform, to do what we were designed to do. Express love and caring, express the kindness that we have received. So keep that in mind. The next time you feel the world is certainly not fair, why am I the only one that's giving and I'm not receiving anything? It's not fair. Well, you can say, God, it's not fair. And he will boom back at you and say, no, this world is not run on fairness. I'm not fair. He would say, I am just. So the justice of God is what's going to take care of all of that in the end. Don't worry. Just keep in mind, as you go out your day to day, you are going to meet with all kinds of opportunities. Doors will open that will give you a chance to perform a random act of love or kindness. Make sure you take the opportunity. And as Paul says to the Corinthian churches, always work enthusiastically for the Lord, for you know that nothing you do for the Lord is ever useless.